All right, let's take a look at these melodic D major scales. So this scale is going to be very handy to practice, especially getting prepared to play songs like Whiskey Before Breakfast in the key of D, or Forked Deer in the key of D, or St. Anne's Reel, or any of those other melodic fiddle tunes that are in the key of D. This will help prepare your hands to play those tunes. So let's take a look at this. All right, the first example is just one octave, and we're going to be starting on the first open D string, the first string open, and we're going to pluck that with middle finger. And then we're going to be getting into this familiar position, and that's going to be index on the first string, 4th fret, and middle finger on 2nd string, 5th fret. And you're going to see a lot of these positions are very similar to the ones in the G scale and even some in the C scale. So a lot of these are very similar. So we're going to pluck the first string and then middle finger, 2nd string, 5th fret, we pluck with index. Then index finger on the left hand goes on 1st string, 4th fret, pluck with middle. Then middle thumb goes on the 5th string open. And now we're about to shift. We're moving this shape just real simple. We'll move it up to 9 and 10, frets 9 and 10. And then we pluck with index, 2nd string, middle on the 1st. Now this is where we're going to be using our thumb. We're going to be wrapping that around the 5th string on the 11th fret, and we pluck that with thumb. And then the last one is pinky on 12th fret, 1st string. So very slowly we have. And just watch look at the banjo tablature to double check the picking on the right hand. But then the next example is just descending. So we would be starting on that 1st string, 12th fret, and then we're going to descend there. So we're just going, so this is going to be just a completely backwards mirror image of what we just did, just completely descending back to the first root note. And the fingering is exactly the same. So example number 2 is just going to be starting on the low D note, and we're going to go 1 octave from the low D note up to the first string open. So this almost starts kind of like a single string pattern. We're going to start with thumb on the low 4th string, and then we're going to place index on 2nd fret 4th string. We pluck with index on the right hand. Then we place our ring finger on 4th fret 4th string, pluck with thumb. And then it's 3rd string open with the index. Now we're going to place our ring finger on 4th string 7th fret, pluck with thumb. Index 2nd string open. Middle finger is going 3rd string 6th fret, pluck with thumb. And then the last note is the 1st string open. And that is the high octave of where we started, or the next octave of where we started. We go. And then we're just going to go descending, the exact same thing. And then example 3 is just like the first one, except I'm going to show you an alternate hand position. We're going to be taking this shape with the index and middle on frets 4 and 5, and we're going to be placing them on 2nd and 3rd strings. So we're getting these same notes. We're going to have our index on the 2nd string 7th fret, and then ring finger on 3rd string 9th fret. And the reason to do that is just because there are certain melodies that might be easier to play in that position, might lay out a little better for the tune, and also it's a little closer to this next place that you're going to go. So that just might be a preferred place because you're just a little closer to that next position. So there's just some benefits for both places. So I would learn them both. But this one is going to start on the 1st string open. And then we go right into that new hand position. We're going to have index 2nd string 7th fret, ring finger is on 3rd string 9th fret, and we're plucking that with thumb. So far we've got then 2nd string with index on the right hand, and then thumb on the 5th, and then we move right into that next shape with index and middle on frets 9 and 10, just like the first scale we learned. 2nd string with index, middle 1st, thumb 11th fret 5th string, and then pinky 1st string 12th fret. So we've got and then we're just going to go descending with that. All right, so the next example is just going to go through 2 octaves. So we're going to be spanning the fretboard a little further. We're going to start with the low 4th string, pluck with thumb, and we place our index on 4th string 2nd fret, pluck with index, and then our ring finger is 4th string 4th fret, pluck with thumb, then index 3rd string open. Now we shift with ring to 4th string 7th fret, pluck with thumb, index 2nd string open, and then middle finger 3rd string 6th fret, pluck with thumb, then middle on the 1st string open. So that much is just like the lower version we did with 1 octave, but then we're going to continue up the scale. Now we're going to be in jumping into this position on frets 4 and 5 with index and middle, and then we're going to be plucking second string with the index, then place index on the left hand, 4th fret first string, pluck with middle, then 5th string open. Now we're shifting that shape up to 9 and 10 again, just like we did earlier. Pluck with index, second string, middle on the first. Now we place our thumb on the 5th string 11th fret, pluck with thumb, and then place pinky on first string 12th fret. And that's the end of that. That's as high as you go. And in the tablature, it just says you can just descend right back down. So basically, a really good thing to do with these is play it very slowly, just up and then straight back down. And then you can start to add some of those new patterns those alternate patterns that I was telling you about, in some of those other exercises. So try all those things with these basic scales as well. But here it is going up and down. We've got So there's a few examples of the D major melodic scale, and just keep in mind that you can play melodic scales in every key, but we're just sticking with the key of G, C, and D because those are going to be the most useful at first and give you a sense of how these techniques feel on the banjo. These are probably the more friendly keys for melodic style, but they're also the most useful. So just work through these D scales and play them very slowly. I would practice them with the metronome. That's going to be helpful. And then just experiment around, just kind of improvise around the scale. Kind of go up and down and create different starting points with these scales. You don't have to just read the tablature. You can kind of play around and just, create your own little patterns. And then just kind of experiment going up and down, creating different patterns, and just see what happens. So anyway, enjoy those, and we'll see you in the next lesson.